Looks live.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome everyone to Abandoned and Alone, the Curtain Call edition. Last time around was the process of building a deck for Solo Mateo, and this time around it's going to be actually starting the campaign. So I'm Ian, one part of the Mythos Busters, and today I'm joined by Scott. How are you doing, Scott?
Oh, I'm doing well.
So we
Excited
just
for Arkham Knights.
yeah, and I have to bite my tongue and not talk about the big announcement at all because we are going to record in a few days, and I want to save all my thoughts and excitement for that.
Oh,
But
did something get announced? I didn't even see. Probably
yeah,
nothing important.
yeah. So I think
Yeah.
there was some new investigator spoil, but I don't know who it was.
Oh,
Probably
whatever.
no one important. Probably.
No.
Yeah. So you've decided to join me to be my peanut gallery and laugh at my mistakes and revel in my successes, I guess.
Yeah, just general heckling and sowing disconcern in your head.
Always sounds good. Yeah, we're gonna get started with the Carcosa campaign. Curtain call. So a couple things before we get started. Playing these kind of games and streaming is always a thing, and by a thing I mean it's a thing where you often mistakes are made. So I am not gonna promise right now that there won't be any mistakes, because I'm sure there will be throughout the process of this series. So if you're in the Twitch chat, feel free to call me out. Scott, you can call me out, of course, and if you're watching it later on YouTube, feel free to put it in the comments. But I'll try to do my best. What else? I am not going to be like reading all the narrative text on the acts and agendas and the stuff that's in the campaign log, mainly for time's sake. I know personally when I'm watching a video, like I know the story pretty well. I kind of just want to get to the gameplay. If you're someone who really likes that and you wish I would do that, let me know. I'm always open to feedback. So if that's something you really want me to do, and there's a big flood of people asking for it, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just kind of gonna summarize what's happening, and that's about it. I'm mostly gonna be focusing on the gameplay. And that's about it. Let's get started with Curtain Call. Let's pull up Octagon. It should be up there. Okay, 1 second. It's not there. There it is. Okay. So Octagon is there now. Or at least it should be. So, for this scenario, it's definitely a very tricky one. For anyone solo, but especially for Solo Mateo. So I'm going to say right off the bat that I'm actually not expecting to win. That may sound kind of defeatist, but I'll take like a trauma and some experience as a victory in this case. I mean, what would you be expecting in this situation, Scott?
Uh, well, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Perfect.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So let's see what else. Yeah, I think that's about it for the preamble to this whole thing. I think what we'll do is this was my opening hand that I drew, and I have not taken a mulligan yet, and it's actually kind of a doozy. It's a pretty good.
It's like a fucking god draw.
I promise there were no shenanigans. I just got this. So, let's see. I got the quiche, which helps me get started. I got a spell, which is always important in case any poltergeists pop up. I got both my allies and a flashlight. The only thing I'm kind of thinking is I have both allies. Kind of what we were imagining when we built this deck is that like one of them would come out and that's who I'd get on the board early. I have two here, and I don't have charisma, so it's kind of have to prioritize one. So it's either that I try to go Renfield and build up resources and then pitch them for Alyssa, or I just go Alyssa off the bat and try to throw away David and get something else going for me. The only other thing I would really want is my Crystalline Elder Sign, I think. Maybe I just do the Renfield play and just get rid of him when I can and then do Alyssa. But the thing is, Alyssa gets me an extra intellect right off the bat against these high shrouds. It's a tough one. I'm kind of inclined to go Alyssa right away, actually. Since I have the quiche, I'm not going to be hurting for resources too much.
Yeah, that might be the way to go.
So, I think as much as it pains me, I'm going to chuck Renfield to see what I get. Okay. That's, that's something. It's a card. It'll fill my shriveling. Alright, let's do this thing. So, kind of the initial thing we're starting with is we have our Agenda 1, which when it eventually advances, our big bad is going to pop out. And right now we just need 3 clues to get to the next step. We're starting in the theater. Father Mateo has decided to investigate some things going on. Maybe because he's seen some crazy snake people. Now he hears about people disappearing. He wants to go investigate this King in Yellow play. Makes it there. Falls asleep during the second act and wakes up in the theater with everything gone crazy. So I think one of the best things to do in this scenario is to get to one of the outer locations first. The reasons why is because there's lots of choke points in this scenario because you want to get to one side and back. And so, like, say if you're in the backstage or lobby during the Mythos phase and an enemy pops up there, if you don't deal with them and you have to evade, then they're just going to be there the whole game choking you up. So it's nice to get to one of the outer locations for the Mythos phase so that if an enemy pops up and you need to get away from it, it's just there at that location. And hopefully you don't have to deal with it ever again. So I think I'm going to aim to try to get to one of those first. So let's move. Are you a backstage man or a lobby man, Scott?
I like the back door.
I agree with you on that. I always go to backstage first.
Well,
So
I mean, the resign ends up being lobby, right? So
you get your business done on this side first, right?
yeah. Party in the back, then get your business up front.
Yeah. So backstage, we find 1 clue, and when it's revealed, we put 2 set-aside backstage doorway locations into play at random. So we'll go ahead and shuffle these up and get 2 backstages at random. Those are both lobbies. That's a lobby 2. And 2. Put those back. Shuffle it up. Okay, so we have our 2 backstages, and then kind of continuing what I was mentioning on a move here. And actually, because I know there's a trap location that summons a rats. So I should probably get a spell on the board first.
Yeah, I'd probably get your shriveling out before.
Okay. 1 second. My shortcuts are going haywire. This is the day of technical difficulties. I blame it on Diana personally.
Yeah. Cultists.
Okay, so we got our shriveling out. If I move there and it's a rats, I can't do anything about it, and it's gonna ping me. This is where I really want to get out like 3 cards at once. Like if I could have just done a quiche and then Alyssa and this. Maybe I just take my chances then and get my flashlight out and not go here
yet. Get your rig going.
Because I just know, like, the first location is always the trap room for me for some reason. Okay, so we got our rig out, and that's going to do us for first turn. Oh, there's David again. Did I shuffle him in? I'm pretty sure I did shuffle him in. That's just how it goes. Okay, so our first mythos is... Whispers in Your Head, Dread. secretly at it. Look away, Scott. It has to be
Oh,
secret.
oh goodness. Yeah.
You cannot move more than once each turn. I kind of hate that one on this scenario because you really need to haul ass sometimes and move around. But it's not the end of the world right now. But at some point I'll have to deal with it. So I think I'll go ahead and move into this room first, and I'll come back for this clue later. Just in case there's some rat business going on. No, it's the dressing room. Damn.
Oh.
I hate getting that one as one of the two, because then that means I'm going to have to go all the way over to this side to...
Yep.
to get the other clue. And I can't move more than once each turn, so that was my move. So I could get Alyssa out with a quiche and then play her. Or I could try to get rid of this thing.
I mean, you're going to have to move a lot coming up because you got the dressing room.
Yeah. So maybe I just get rid of it before it becomes a problem.
Yeah. It sucks because it takes like 2/3 of your turn.
Yeah.
Feels like this turn was a nothing.
That whole turn was a big fat nothing. Yeah. That's not a good draw for me. But here we go. Okay, drawn to the flame. To doom out of 6. We get cannot play assets or events. Okay. Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's funny because this card, like, I'll say, like, maybe 20% of the time will completely screw you when you were counting on playing a backstab or something. And there's a lot of times where I feel like it comes out, I'm like, oh, that's not as bad as 80% of the other cards I could have drawn from the encounter deck.
Yeah, it's like, well, I didn't want to play assets or events anyway, so there.
Forget you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll move here. And since I can't play anything anyway, let's move to the other one, see what we get. There's the trap room.
There it is. Found it.
Let's look for some rats. Ooh, the next card would have been Spires of Carcosa.
Ew, gross.
I'm glad I got some rats then to shuffle up the deck. Okay, so I got some rats in my threat area. One action left. So I could either try to beat on it one-on-one or just shrivel the thing. I kind of don't want to waste any time. I just want to shrivel it.
Yeah, I think time is of the essence.
Yeah. So we're going to shrivel at 4 to 1. And I'm not going to check anything to it. Okay. Good thing I use shriveling.
Yep.
So rats are dead. That's the end of my turn. Let's refresh everything. Okay. There's our friend, the Athame. This is going to go away. This is going to be very helpful for when the Emissary comes out soon. And let's see what we get. If you have at least, that's a big fat nothing. I don't have 3 horror on me. Oh, there he is.
Ugh. Well, at least you have your shriveling out.
Yep, I do have my shriveling. It's going to be a 4v3, which is not great odds. I can't evade him. The intellect tests are sketchy. The one play I could see is actually putting out the Athame, taking the opportunity attack, and just making sure that that would be 2 horror.
Yeah.
But I do have some good horror soaks here. Well, at least Alyssa is. David's okay.
Mm-hmm. I like the Athame play. I think it's the strongest.
Yeah, because otherwise I could feasibly, at only +1 up, I could feasibly be like draining 2 or 3 charges into the thing, and I need to save them for the Emissary. So let's do that. Let's Let's whip out our knife. I'm not getting any of my allies out on the board, am I? It's just not going to happen. Okay, so I'm going to take 2 horror. That could come back to bite me later. We'll find out. Okay. Oh, they're mentioning in the chat that Mythos Busters logo is covering up cards. Yeah, I can move that over. Oops, let's not move the whole screen.
Oh god. Our world is falling apart.
What is happening? Okay, let's try that and see if that's better. Thanks for the heads up. I thought they showed up on the other side, but I might be thinking of Lord of the Rings. Okay, so I have that out, and then let's spend second action. We're going to shrivel. I'm going to use the Athame, so we're hitting at 6v3.
Mm-hmm.
I could chuck this to really be sure of it, but I feel like I'm kind of going to need it later. Yeah, I'm just going to go for it.
All right.
What would be your play there, Scott?
Ooh. What's in the bag right now? Is there cultist or tablets?
I should know that since I just assembled it, but
Yeah.
I know there's the 3 skulls for Carcosa, right? And then I think it's just the Elder thing, right? I don't think there's any... Yeah, there's no cultists or tablets yet, if I remember correctly.
Okay. I think 3 up is fine.
Okay, let's do it.
Famous last words.
Mm-hmm. Oh!
No! Well, you can't stop that.
Oh!
Wait! Do you want to Father Mateo that?
Oh, yes. Let's not forget his signature ability.
Yeah.
I probably would have completely forgot that. Mateo for the win. You know, I don't know what type of player you are with Mateo, but I'm personally of the mind that use it when you got it, unless it's a really stupid test.
Yeah. I'm totally like it helps you keep pace, right? Like that's to me, it's not for the big bomb swings. I mean, it can be, but if it keeps you moving, like gets this poltergeist down, gets you getting clues, stuff like that, I totally just use it. Like,
yeah, like, because there'd be the part of me that would say, well, I really want it in hand for the showdown with the Emissary, but the thing is, this is actually a pretty important moment, like, because if this fails, then I am stuck with my Athame exhausted. I have 2 charges left, but they're each going to be at +1, maybe 2. Yeah. I mean, I could feasibly just spend all my shriveling without killing this thing.
Yeah.
So I think I got to trigger the ability, which will go ahead and kill the thing.
Yeah, I think you got to turn that frown upside down.
Yep. Mateo for the win. These are going in my discard pile, actually, for some reason. Get all those out. Octagon, you're destroying me today. Okay, let's put them there. Okay, so the poltergeist is taken care of, and now I can trigger my Elder Sign, because Mateo has turned the tentacle into the Elder Sign. So I can either draw a card and gain a resource, or I can take an additional action.
Ooh.
I am short on resources, but an extra action at this point wouldn't be bad either.
Because, I mean, you can turn that action into an emergency cache if you're that short.
Yeah,
as well.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. I think I might just do that. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the action. I'm at 2 right now. Yeah, I think I'll use it to play the cache because I've really been hurting to not have any actions to play. And then my last action, I'm just going to investigate this thing. Use a flashlight charge that gives me 3 to 1. And suppose I could put that in there so I get another charge since I used 2.
Yeah.
There's some higher shroud locations later in the game, but I'm kind of thinking about now.
Yeah, so, I think pacing is more important.
Yeah, so let's go 4 to 1. Okay, I didn't need it, but that's okay. I get a charge in my shriveling. And I get a clue. 1 out of 3, yay!
Progress. Mr.
Uh,
Penguins Are Lulls is saying, now by the clerk economy.
the famous click economy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that is a choice that could be critiqued, but my goal really, I'm kind of thinking a couple turns ahead, is I really want to get Alyssa on the board to start getting some control over this thing, and I want to prepare for the. Because ideally, I don't want to face a ton of enemies before this guy pops out, is kind of what I'm thinking. Okay, let's get to the next turn. Okay, we got Astral's Travel. Yep. What were you gonna say?
No, sorry. Nope. Keep going.
Okay. And 4 out of 6. We're almost to Emissary time. Let's see what we get. Twisted to his will. If there's no doom in play. Again, search otherwise test where X is the amount of doom in play. If you fail, discard 2 cards from your hand at random. Okay.
So I think there's 2 schools of thought on this because you're testing 4 to 4.
Yep.
You have 2 willpower pips in your hand.
I do.
Do you commit both of those to be 2 up and then hopefully not discard 2, or do you just take it 4 on 4 because you discard 2 anyways? Because if you fail, if you commit the 2, then you discard your whole hand.
Right, yeah, it's kind of like, do you trust to fate that they're going to discard the ones that I don't care as much about, or I do...
Oh,
all of these...
Chat saying that the logo's covering up the card again.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that is happening.
Get that logo out of here. No one cares.
I'm not sure what determines it. Here, let me just put it over the chat box. I think that should be safe.
There you go, chat. Is this what you wanted?
or the log box, sorry. No, not the Twitch chat. That would be funny if I covered it. We don't want to hear what you're saying anyway. Okay. Yeah. The main thing I'm really interested in protecting is Alyssa, I think. I feel like. So I'm inclined to chuck these 2, even though both of them are very useful in their own ways. Because I just know with my luck, I'm gonna discard this Alyssa and someone else more than likely.
Yeah. I mean, if you go 4 to 4, your chance of passing is very low. And then it's a 50-50 chance if you lose Alyssa. But if you commit the 2 cards, you have better than a 50-50 chance of passing. In fact, you have a pretty good chance of passing. Therefore, keeping Alyssa. So, yeah, you might be better off chucking.
I'm gonna go 6 to 4. Oh, look at that! Exactly. Exactsies.
Pro play.
Okay, so that goes here. I have to do it that way until I can figure out the bug. Okay, so that's the Mythos phase. Okay. There's always this point in Current and Call where you have to decide between like going after clues and when you're gonna start getting set up for the big boss man. I'm actually at a pretty good place. Famous last words.
Yeah.
To fight him, although I would like some more will to take him on. I mean, at this point, do I actually go more Renfield so that I can get the will to take on this guy?
It's tempting. You might need it.
I'll be hitting 6 to 4, which is okay, but he does have Retaliate. With Renfield, I'll be 7 versus 4, which is a little bit better odds.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. As much as I want to have Alyssa out, I think it's important to get Renfield out for the willpower.
I'm thinking he's my best bet. I don't know if I can take this guy. This is my fear of the scenarios. I think I can take him out once, but twice is going to be rough. And so I really need the speed to get through this. And then somehow I'm going to have to pass the test against the Man in the Pallid Mask as well, or defeat... Oh god, this scenario. I can already see my defeat unraveling before my eyes.
Well, such is life.
Yep. I am just going to move here and pick up a clue, hopefully. And then I think my last will be dropping Renfield probably.
Yeah.
Spin a clue. That'll be 3v1 with my flashlight. Okay. Didn't need it, but that's okay. 2 out of 3 clues. And yeah, I think I'll throw Renfield down while I can, just in case something happens. And then next turn we'll be trying to get to the lobby.
Yeah.
Okay, Renfield's down. I'm not going to trigger him, though, because I want that additional turn.
Good plan.
Yeah, I really want that additional turn, so let's not do that.
Another pro play from Ian.
Can learn a lot, folks.
Yeah. Don't use Renfield and make it the witching hour when you're fully prepared.
It's basically like Renfield in the middle of the theater, just like yodeling and causing the emissary to pop out with all the noise. Yeah. Okay, next turn. Fearless. Okay, that can help us deal with some of the horror I racked up there. Mm-hmm. The reason why the threshold between 2 and 3 is important, which I didn't mention earlier, is because the skull has a -3 if you have 3 or more horror on you. So once I get there, it turns the bag pretty nasty, I've found, because there's 3 skulls in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so 5 out of 6, let's see what we get. Black Stars Rise. Ooh, speaking of horror. So if I fail, I either have to put 1 doom, and that can cause the current agenda to advance, or take 1 horror for each point failed. Either of those is not a good option because of the 3 threshold I just talked about, and also because it'll cause the emissary to pop out.
Oh, that is just so bad.
Yeah. There's not a lot of great options there.
Well...
I mean, I can chuck Alyssa to get 4-4, which are still not great odds at all. Or just let it ride.
At least if you chuck her, then you could probably take the horror.
Mm-hmm.
And you have Fearless. Then it makes the bag harder. Oh, God. That's such a Sophie's choice.
Yeah, makes the bag. And then if I chuck her, I'm also losing a good horror soak for later.
Yeah.
Which is...
Oh, do you just take it naked?
I feel like I just take it naked.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you have in store for me, bag? 0.
Oh.
Ooh, I would have passed it.
But you know what? You just take 1 horror, and then when you get Alyssa out, you netted like 2 horror. Kind of.
Yeah, I am gonna be at the 3 threshold, which sucks. But I do have Fearless. So let's say next turn I'm fighting. I'm probably going to check that to fight, and hopefully that'll heal it off. And I should be 3 up with Renfield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's just take the horror. I think that's the best play. And then we have to decide what to do with our last turn.
I think you Renfield first.
Oh, yes.
Just 'cause.
Good reminder, yeah. Yeah, because it is the witching hour. Hashtag witching hour. Oops, that's the wrong icon. There's the doom on Renfield. I don't know why I'm putting it on. Well, Mateo is doomed, but he doesn't have a doom.
He just doesn't know it yet.
Yeah, Renfield exactly. Renfield does. He's like, Mateo. Okay. So we got some resources down. I could either draw up and prepare for the battle, or I could try to get a 3rd clue before it's too late.
I don't know.
That's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
I could draw up and draw my stupid Serpents of Yig, which would be a bad day and bad timing. If I go to get the clue, then at least I'll have 3 in hand.
Yeah.
But I won't have... I'll kind of just be relying on what I have hand right now, plus 1 more card, obviously.
Yeah.
That's such a tough one.
I mean, you're
not
hitting
even
pretty...
Go ahead.
You're hitting pretty good right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think your hand wise, like I think you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I mean, you're gonna have Spirit Athame for one hit, and then you can use Fearless for the next hit.
Mm-hmm.
I think you go for the clue.
That is the way I'm leaning as well. Yeah, so let's do that. I'm also worried about drawing that weakness too. And what was it? My weakness was internal injury. That's right. Was my
Yeah,
basic
I think
weakness.
so. Yeah.
So let's move here. Let's move here. Let's reveal the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
So
And
good.
let's put 2 lobby doorways. 1 lobby
Get
doorway.
ourselves an emissary.
Okay, shuffle those up. Okay. Yep. And then we have one more action. So this would be a 3v2 with flashlight, which is still not great odds. I could move over here. That gets me far from the emissary. These locations, the lobby doorway locations, tend to have very high shroud as well.
Hmm.
I think.
Here's a crazy thought.
Okay.
Tell me if I'm crazy.
I'm willing to hear crazy.
You go back to the theater
Mm-hmm.
and get ready to punch the emissary.
So I don't waste any actions having to move to fight him.
Hmm.
That's definitely something I've done with this scenario before.
Because if you do miss a shot, that gives you like you can use all your shriveling shots.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I could. Now here's the bigger question: am I trying to annihilate him as soon as he shows up, or am I gonna try to lead him on a merry chase, get as much done as I can before I have to kill him? I generally tend to fight him right away because the horror he piles up just really adds up after a while.
Hmm.
But I also mentioned that I don't think I'm gonna be able to kill him twice.
Yeah, maybe you just lead him along.
Like, do I go up to the balcony? There's a victory point there. It's a low shroud, and then he will move here, ping me for a horror, and then like I jump down and go back here, so something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you make him run. That might be a good idea. That or like either go up to the balcony or to the doorway. I forget the shroud on the balcony.
I
It's
don't
four?
think it's terribly high from what I remember. Yeah, because my first, I've just been thinking all along that I would just hit him when he comes up, but just thinking about kind of what my best chance for winning, which I still
Hmm.
don't think is that great.
And you know what? If you run him along, that means you
Mm-hmm.
can use David Renfield probably twice, and then the emissary can kill him off. Oh,
Yeah, I
but
do.
you also want him for the boost. Hmm.
Yeah, for when I do have to fight him, that's true. Yeah, and I can't string him along for too long because there is kind of a time limit on the other side.
Yeah.
But
Chat saying
it
Chat
does
saying
let.
balcony is Shroud of Two.
Mm, it's kind
So,
of a sweet spot. Maybe I
hmm.
string him along just far enough that I get the last clue and maybe get rid of the man in the pellet mask. I don't know. It's yeah. I think I'm gonna go for my hunch, which may end up being wrong. It often happens, but I'm gonna go up to the
Well,
balcony and yep. Ooh, that's 2 damage. In my mind, I thought it was 1 damage to jump down. Mm. What can you do? Okay, that's the end of the
sight.
turn.
Sight.
And okay, I got a miss. Oh, really? Okay, and this is gonna flip. So at this point, the emissary comes barging onto the stage, singing some kind of crazy song. It's gonna
Out of his mouth butthole.
Yeah, the worst kind of mouth. Maybe the worst kind of butthole too. So he pops up there, and we have encore. So the song is going throughout the theater. When the emissary is defeated, added to the victory display, then we remove all doom, go back to Agenda 1, but it does start with 3 doom, so you get less time the second go around. We still have to draw a Mythos card. Okay, there are no cultists in play. So this is just going to surge. And we get... Okay.
Ooh. I guess you can put him in the lobby.
So you could go in the lobby.
Which means it's like no stuck in my head.
Which means I would have to deal with him later on the, or I put him at my location and